Delhi University. Welcome Purnima ma'am, welcome to have you. And there's one more thing which I would like to share is Ayushi Bansal has also been an alumni of Maths Academy. She did her 11th and 12th under my guidance. Welcome to have you, Ayushi. So with this, not taking much of your time, I would like to move ahead to this fun-filled interactive question and answer session. Today, our first question is from Aditi Jain, who is a very talented girl. I would also like to tell you that she was a participant at the Dance India Dance of Star Plus 2019. So we have Aditi Jain with us. The first question is from Aditi Jain.
Thank you, ma'am. Akhanda mandalakaram vyaktam yena characharam tat padam darshitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Salutations to that benevolent and beautiful Guru through whom the entire form of the unbroken circle of creation was revealed to us. A very good morning to good evening to respected teachers and the fellow attendees. A very happy Teachers' Day to you all. My question is directed to Purnima ma'am. Ma'am, you must have had experiences wherein children enter with fake accounts with the sole purpose of disturbing the class and take advantage of the online mode. So I would like to know, how do you tackle it? How do you win your class's attention back?
I don't think there is any set rule for tackling any such situation. If fake accounts, there are sometimes, in fact, what I see on the screen, my name has not shown on the screen. It shows administrator. So I'm sure if you're using a mobile that is you've not assigned it your name, it will show some gadget or some device model. So there are times when children do enter using such names too, and of course if they are in a little naughty mode, they would add some nice title like Gabbar or whatever, a different name. But then the minute you know that somebody is trying to act smart, all you need to do is you just need to address them using that name and then say, ask them, who's this Gabbar or who's this, let's say it's Galaxy, somebody's mobile is showing Moto G. So they said, who's this Moto G? And make it fun, because it can't be always with an intention of disturbing the class. But yeah, if there is somebody with an intention of that, then you have to be a little strict. And personally speaking, I've not really had that kind of a situation arising. And because obviously, if it's a classroom, you would know all your children, so it's not all that big a deal. But if it's a big audience, then yes, there is a possibility of people playing pranks, and you have to be a little vigilant. So maybe you could use these fun tactics and address, and then maybe the other person feels embarrassed and decides to reveal their identity.
Thank you, Purnima ma'am. I would like to add on to this. It happened with me in my class when I was teaching. Initially, there were students there in 2 times in a lecture, the students with different name joined in. Means there was one student and the same name, there was another student. So, that I came across. But immediately I removed that particular student from the meeting, and our students want to study, so they get back to the work immediately. They also know that this kind of a thing should not be entertained, so they also take care about it. Plus we have other students also who are helping us not to do such kind of things, so they also tell us that, ma'am, this is the person with the fake account or something like that, don't let him enter, ये unnecessary आया है, ये क्लास को डिस्टर्ब करेगा, वो लोग भी हमें बता देते हैं. So our students are with us, तो वो हमें बता देते हैं about this. Moving ahead.
Thank you, Aditi, and thank you, ma'am. Now we move forward to Shreya Bhatia, who is a good orienter and Vice Head of DPS Bhopal. Shreya, your question?
Good evening, everyone. First things first, a very happy Teachers' Day to all the teachers present here. My first question is for Ayushi ma'am. Ma'am, what actions of students annoy you the most during online classes, and how do you tackle the notorious kids?
See, I'm working with a young age group. So what happens with them is you need to set the tone of the class on day one. So what I generally do is I discuss the essential agreements with them. So essential agreement is not a set of rules and regulations which I set. It is a collaboration, decided by the teacher and the student as to what classroom environment will help them to learn their best. So they come up with, okay, ma'am, we should not do this, we should mute ourselves, we should only raise our hand. So when they are deciding some things, when they are deciding what to do and what not to do, they will obey it throughout the year. So what I do is I don't dictate something that we should not do this, we should not do that. Rather, I ask them provocative questions, and then they come up with the essential agreements or with the rules, and they set the tone of the class. So setting the tone of the class on day one is very important for any teacher. So I don't need to tell them anything afterwards. I don't need to say so. And the young children nowadays, they are very understanding. With the young children, you have to, communicate with the children a lot. Because, when you communicate with them that, I don't like this, this is the behavior of yours, which I don't like much. So they are very understanding. They adore their teachers. They just love you. So if you have already communicated something, they are not going to do something which that hurts their teachers. So that is one of the benefit of working with young children. I'm just proud of working with them.
Yes, ma'am, being a student, I totally get you.
Very true, Ayushi. छोटे बच्चों के लिए तो उनकी टीचर भगवान होती है. उन्होंने जो बोल दिया उनको फॉलो करना है.
They give you unconditional love. They love you unconditionally.
Right. बड़े बच्चे भी देते हैं, but छोटे ज्यादा देते हैं.
So when you walk into the classrooms of juniors, so for them you are the world's most beautiful, the best human being ever. So you walk in any time.
Right.
I usually get a lot of cards. They make on the
Okay.
spot. They give you so many cards, and there are days when I walk into the senior classes and I know that I can only see dread.
Very true, ma'am. I totally agree.
So it's like we are mini terrorists, meeting having terror.
Very true.
Having a bad day, a big smile from the young children, a hug from them, then that just makes your day.
Very true. Very true. Okay, let's move ahead, Nikita.
Now we move forward to Ayushi Dholkia, who is from Anand Vidya Vihar. Ayushi, your question.
Firstly, I would like to wish all the teachers a very happy Teachers' Day. My question is towards Prachi ma'am. Firstly, thank you so much for the introduction that you gave. And being a humanities student, I understand that these subjects like political science and history, to an extent, it's quite easier to teach it virtually. But mathematics as a subject, which is a very practical subject which requires physical calculations, it kind of becomes very difficult to teach online. Then how have the teachers been able to cater to this problem?
Yeah, Ayushi, that's a very big problem which I have also been facing, There are very long questions in math, especially in 12th students would agree with me. If we go to AOD, application of derivatives, there are long word problems which are almost 2 to 3 pages long, So doing those problems in a live class becomes very difficult for us on online. So what I have done is I'm making videos on those small 10 minutes, 15 minutes videos, just covering 2 to 3 questions on the videos, and then we post them on YouTube, and then the students can watch them at their comfortable time. They can watch the video 2 to 3 times also, and not very long videos, because very long videos then they get bored of it and they're not able to listen to it. So small videos just with 2 or 3 questions in it help us, help the students also understand and help us also teach. Plus, some long questions, I'm grateful to CBSE. It has cut short its curriculum. So, there are lots of long questions which have been eliminated by the CBSE board itself. So that is there. But yes, it is no doubt a problem in teaching online the long questions of maths.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Ayushi. Now we move forward to Sia Parekh, the only participant of class 11 from Nirma School. Sia, your question.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I wish all the teachers a very happy Teachers' Day. My question is for Ayushi ma'am. Ma'am, as we kids really miss going to school, do you also miss the traditional teaching lessons, or are you comfortable with the new normal?
Oh, totally. There is nothing great compared to the traditional teaching method, because along with the teaching, that personal touch with the student is very important. So that is the one thing we miss a lot. And plus, there is a lot of challenges we all are facing. We teachers, parents, students, because we were not prepared for it. We were totally not trained for teaching online. So we are learning, and even I would not say it is great difficulty only for the teachers. It is also for the students and the parents as well. But yeah, we are trying to cope up with it. We are trying our best, but there is nothing good compared to the traditional teaching, because when you're teaching online, you're visible. You are not only visible till here. But when you're in the school, when you're in the school, the children just come up to you, they hug you. I'm talking about the young children. I'm talking only about them. So and they need lot of love, and this is one of the thing we are we are taught during the kindergarten. We learn with the kindergarten children that learning ABCD is not very important, but developing the relation with the teacher, with the student, that is more important. So yeah, thumbs up to the traditional teaching method. I hope everything gets over very soon and we are back to the campus.
I think Purnima ma'am would also agree with this particular thing.
Yeah, I believe the students also, share the same feelings, because there's nothing better than meeting personally, meeting your friends. In fact, let's go to the fun part of it also. You enjoy more when you're with your friends inside the class. Let's say you want to disrupt it. If that's possible, when you're doing it online, it's not very easy, especially if the teacher is able to mute the chat and you can't, she has a lot of online tools to stop things from happening. So it becomes very boring, very monotonous. You're inside the confines of your four, the walls of the room. Whereas inside a class, physically, no matter what the teacher does, they have the freedom to interact with each other, and if they want, they can cause disruption. So I'm sure they're missing it as well. And yes, there's nothing to beat the traditional form of teaching, because at least, as you say, there's a lot of hidden warmth that you get when you're inside a class. There's a lot of bonding that happens. There are lots of things that keep going on inside the class. You might see a lot of expressions. A lot of other discussions happen under the sun. When you're teaching online, it's a lot more, focused and closeted. So you really have to finish off, because you have that stipulated time. You won't get another period, and it's all chopped out. After all, if you take more, then it's going to cause stress to the eyes, and you have to cater to a whole lot of communities to answer and all those things. So let's not get into that trouble zone. So it does become very restrictive. So nothing to beat the traditional format of teaching.
Right. I totally agree with you, ma'am. And we cannot see the faces of the students. So we're not able to make out also many times whether they have understood, whether they have not understood, so because my style is by the face itself, I can recognize whether they have understood or not. Abhi to we ask them, they say, हाँ, समझ आ गया. But, it's very difficult to, actually.
Their videos, mics, and switch off the videos. It's just not easy. All you need to do is keep asking them, are you there?
Right.
Get them to answer.
Very true. Okay, Nikita, we move ahead. Who's next?
So the next question is from Vansh Bhatt of Maharaja Agrawal Vidyalaya. Vansh, your question.
Yes. Hello. First of all, good evening to all present here. I would like to wish everyone a very happy Teachers' Day. My question is to Prachi ma'am. Ma'am, what platforms do you use to conduct online exams and tests? Like, how do you prevent the children from doing cheating?
Yes, Vansh, conducting online tests has been very challenging. Initially, तो I was wondering कि हम test लेंगे कैसे जब ये सब शुरू हुआ. So it has been very challenging. But yes, there are lots of platforms through which we started taking tests. Initially, the students were sending us photos and we were taking tests through that particular method. But now we also have a platform through which we are taking online tests, online MCQ tests. We have our own website, mathsacademy.ahm.com. So on that website, all our students have their login IDs and passwords. They go in and there they can give the MCQ test with a particular time limit that is given to them. And immediately after the test, they also get their marks and, you know, the analysis, how many questions wrong, how many questions right. So that has been something good. Plus on our website, others also can visit it, mathsacademy.ahm.com. On that particular website, we have posted various practice tests also and practice worksheets also. So that is how we have been taking the test. And regarding the cheating, yes, we have been continuously messaging the parents that please do monitor your child while writing the test. So, you know, the parents try to be around. They tell me कि मैम हम पूरा उसके साथ नहीं बैठते हैं, but हम इधर उधर घूमते रहते हैं देखने के लिए कि you know वो बच्चा चीटिंग तो नहीं कर रहा है. कई पेरेंट्स ने मुझे बोला मैम हम उसके साथ बैठेंगे तो उसे अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, you know, it will be like हम उसको believe नहीं कर रहे हैं. So we are just, you know, moving around here and there to keep check. So here the teachers and the parents have to work together. Yeah, Purnima ma'am.
Ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
Ma'am, you're muted.
I don't know when I went into mute mode. I did take a test and a mock test, and it was very different because I wanted them to give the traditional test. So I told them you will have to be prepared. If you don't have, like all these days when I was taking a class, they would say, I don't have a webcam, so it's not easy to, you know, switch on the video, you would not be able to see me. Sometimes they don't talk, they just put the messages in the chat box. So I told them, whatever you do, but on the day of the exam, I would like to see you. You can use two devices, you can use a laptop for reading the questions while you keep your mobiles. All of you have mobiles, I know that. So keep it on, I want the camera on. They managed it well because they had the cameras on and I could see them. I kept vigilant look, you know, I mean, I kept vigilant throughout for 1 hour. They gave a 1 hour test, and the minute that angle would shift, like their head would shift, I would keep saying, where are you looking? Look at the camera. I think it was very disturbing while the test was going on. But I constantly kept the talk. I asking them to constantly look at the camera, and they kept saying that, ma'am, sometimes with mobile switches also, it's not really easy. I said, I don't know. I want you to be visible. Anyway, we managed. And then, yeah, while they were uploading their answers, a couple of them did say that, ma'am, mere phone mein hai na, I don't have that Adobe Scan you know, app. So I have to go pick up my mom's the thing. One of them even asked me, I would like to go to the washroom. I said, I'm watching. I'll see how long you take. The poor fellow just freaked out, came back within seconds. I said, I hope you've completed your job. We had a lot of fun. I mean, it's up to the teacher, I think, how to make it fun or
right. That's actually a very good
very odd situation. It's not something that's normal. You are trying to keep a watch on 20 different people, 20, 25 different people play, you know, located at different places. And poor things are battling net issues, they're battling rain, they're battling sometimes lack of gadgets. Sometimes their siblings are also with the same gadgets. They also have a family.
Right.
So it's not easy. I can simply sympathize with parents, children, teachers, everybody. Everybody is at a loss presently.
Very true, ma'am. Okay, let's move ahead, Nikita.
Yeah. The next question is from Parv Parekh. We have a great sports person today who has been a skater from last 19 years and has won several national awards.
Not yet 19.
15 years. From last 15 years and has won. Sorry. Yes, Parv, your question?
Hello everyone, a very warm, healthy and a good evening to one and all present today. firstly wishing all the teachers a very happy Teachers Day. And well, it's a very big honor for me to represent myself in front of such esteemed and renowned dignitaries. Apart from fun, I have a sort of serious, a sort of consequential question to Prachi ma'am. Ma'am, according to a survey by Indian Express, 43% of Indian students do not possess resources which are accustomed and which are used for online education. So just because of them being underprivileged and economically backward, will these children also will these children have no authority to educate themselves, or will they not be able to exercise their consumer right to education?
Very true, Parv. This is going on. This is a major problem with the economically backward students. I also work with an NGO by the name of Prayas Ek Koshish. So there we were facing this particular problem. The students don't have the mobiles, don't have an access to any of the computers or anything. So we have helped some of them. The brighter students, we have given tablets to them so that they have an access. Plus, some of the students who really want to study in this particular case, what they do is at night when their parents are back, एक ही मोबाइल है उनके घर पे, तो वो एक मोबाइल वापस आ जाता है, तो they are watching the videos that are there, that are given to them. There are teachers who are especially sending in YouTube links and videos. We have assigned those teachers. They are especially sending the YouTube links, videos and the homeworks to the students. So that is how it has been going on. And yes, millions of laptops, computers and mobiles have been sold during this pandemic. So this is the only industry which has actually boomed during the pandemic. Yes, but for the economically backward, it is a problem. But at some places, in the villages, they have also started with live classes, one-on-one. जिनके पास मोबाइल नहीं है और विलेज में ज्यादा कोरोना वगैरह नहीं है, तो वहां पर one-on-one बैठकर भी the teachers are trying to teach. So that is how this problem has been trying to solve. But yes, it is there, no doubt about it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
We move forward. If you guys have any questions to ask to the teachers, you can either put it on a chat box or can ask them directly.
Yeah, now we open the house for the discussions. The audience questions, please do put them on the chat box or do ask them, raise your hand. If you have any questions for Purnima ma'am, Ayushi ma'am, you can please do put them up. Unmute, mute Reena Gupta. Yeah. Any questions? Yes, Yukti. Yes, Sakshi, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Sakshi, go ahead.
Ma'am, I would really like to know something about the new education policy because I don't know, I haven't read very good articles about it. So I would just like to understand it from you teachers. Yeah, so could you please?
I think Purnima ma'am would be the best one to answer this. I myself don't know much about the education policy. I also wanted to ask this. Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, the national education policy seems to be a very tall order, but there are several deadlines that they've given to themselves. Like 2 days back, they did mention that the new textbooks and new curriculum would come into effect, I think, from 2023, which is, we have 3 more years, 2.5 more years to continue. And they expect, I think, college education to start changing by the year 2025, and teaching the teacher education, which is the ones who are wanting to become teachers, I think by 2030. But essentially the whole target period is 2040. That means जो बच्चा आज पैदा हुआ है वो 20 साल में when he enters proper college, higher education institution, the entire model would have changed by then. So that is what they're targeting. There are lots of landmark decisions that they've taken. Like I think like for a school like ours, right to education, we have a lot of those underprivileged children, at least on paper. I don't want to be skeptical, but on paper, the right to education provides free education to underprivileged children, and we have about 14 of them in our school, and the senior most having reached grade 4. But now they have extended that to the Balwadi. So that means, which is good. It makes more sense because instead of joining grade 1 and not knowing anything, because by grade 1, children know a fair amount of, they have a good command over, languages like whether it is English or Hindi or Gujarati, they can write or at least they can understand. These children used to find themselves at a disadvantage. So now it is, they have started using this RTE policy from the Balwadi, that is from nursery. Then teacher education, as I said, would change. Now they'll have teaching. They're focusing a lot on how to equip teachers with the teaching style. So those who want to study only teaching, like they've decided long back that they want to get into teaching profession, they will have a 4-year long teaching course. Or otherwise, like the typical 3+1 format. Even college education will now get into the 4-year format where they'll ensure one last year for internship or gaining skills. Then there are lots of things like, there was a lot of confusion regarding the 3-language formula. The people were really scared. What about the English medium schools where English was the mode of transaction? If they insist on the regional language, if they insist on the classical language, and they insist on the mother tongue, where does English go? Multiple interpretations have come out, but they're very categorical when they say that English is up to the parents. It's up to the parents. If they want their children to be educated in an English medium school, the teachers obviously can continue doing that. But if there is a child who stays, say, near to the school and is an RT, belongs to the RT category and wants to have education provided in the mother tongue, then the schools will have to cater to that. So, which again is not a very big difficult job because let's say you stay in a particular state, you will have a lot of teachers from the state who are well versed with the local language, so it should not be a difficult task. It's only when teaching, hardcore technical words that becomes a difficulty, because I'm sure there are many Gujaratis also who would not know technical words of several concepts. So that is another new addition. Then having vocational education starting off from grade 6, which is very good. Like we used to have that. I think in Delhi and all, SUPW used to be a very serious period. We used to have one period every week, and whether you wanted to learn carpentry or you wanted to learn photography or you wanted to learn something like now they have of course diversified it, so you can learn whatever you want. You can in fact now they're very sensible. They say that you can incorporate a local person also. So let's say you want to learn carpentry and you really want to get into the furniture business. You can get a local carpenter come down, teach you. He teaches a technical part of it instead of going to a high-end, furniture industrialist. You can ask a local carpenter to help you out, and you can employ retired people who are wanting to pass their time, and they are experts at certain fields, but because they passed their retirement age, they are out of job. You can involve them in the teaching system. So in a way they want, and of course the biggest thing is now we can't be using private schools like ours can't be using words like public schools. So earlier you would have schools like like Delhi public schools, like that's where I graduated from. Now you can't be using public schools, so you have to use, it's a private school, so they have to refashion their entire acronym to something else, because it's going to be Delhi private school unless it is run by the government of course India. And the biggest addition is, thankfully they've changed it from MHRD to Ministry of Education, which was well needed, because HRD ministry was into so many things. It was into women welfare, it was into women development, was into education. They had too many things, and hands were full, but now they're going to make, since they've made it Ministry of Education, it's going to focus on education sector, and of course, as the tall order promises, they're going to set aside 6% of their GDP on education sector, which is a big thing, because 6% runs into several lakhs of crores, of course, of money pumped into the system, which is a big deal, because if only you make your public system, that means your public education system, your government schools strong, will we have the next generation educated. And any nation to succeed, if we want to see our India like the erstwhile times where we were our ancient history talks about our mastery or expertise in medicine, in architecture, in music, in arts, and so many things. But then somewhere down the line, we lost it because of our, subsequent colonization and subjugation to several dynasties. And to get back to that era, I think we'll have to, the only way out is to empower your education system. So this is a wonderful move. Let's see how much it works. But I believe the government is very fixated on getting into
Yeah, this is actually a new move by the government. So let's see. Abhi tak to it hasn't been approved also, I guess.
सीबीएसई स्कूल्स को अभी आजकल चैन नहीं है, क्योंकि आपको नहीं पता कब एक सर्कुलर नया सा आ जाए. अब कल शाम की आज ही की बात है. I was talking to the student. I said, I wish I could have told you earlier. Like we had a morning session, we had a fun session for Teachers' Day. I told you to use hashtag, my teacher, my hero. That was the hashtag that they had to use. Now this came at about 4-7 evening in the school mail from CBSE. Like they're working around the clock and they make us work.
Right.
National education policy also जो इन्होंने निकाला, इन्होंने एक हफ्ते का टाइम दिया, 24 तारीख से 31 तारीख का. They put a competition and they used to take a daily Google form. They used to get the principal.
Right.
कितने लोगों ने suggestion दिया, they wanted suggestions.
कितने क्या suggestions आए? Very true.
It will work. And
very true.
One body cheese I wanted to mention to all the children. One good thing I liked about it is they have mentioned that each child, if you are able to teach one underprivileged kid, believe me, it will make a big difference. So आप सब privileged बच्चे हो जो आज इस पैनल में हो, अगर आपसे एक बच्चा भी एजुकेट हो पाया, तो आप समझो आपका रीच कहाँ तक पहुँचेगा. I mean, how much of a change can you bring about?
Very true, very true. So I think on this Teachers' Day सबको ये एक वो लेना चाहिए कि हम भी टीचर बनकर एक बच्चे को पढ़ाएंगे. At least one underprivileged kid today. Let's all pledge together कि हम एक underprivileged बच्चे को पढ़ाएंगे. We have a question here from Yukti in the chat box, which asks me that do we pay attention more on the studies or on the extra curricular this thing? So Yukti, it has to be a balance between the both. आपको studies पर भी ध्यान देना है, and at the end of the day, the extracurricular activities and your overall development matters. So later on in life, how you present yourself, all this would come in by your extracurricular activities, the way you portray yourself, how good as an orator you are. So all these things really matter later on. So it's just not study that you have to be. You have to be good at the other things also.
I think
we
had a college fest and I remember
right. Very true. Our college fests were great fun. We have a question here from Rajeshwari ma'am. Yes, Rajeshwari ma'am, your question. Rajeshwari ma'am, are you there? Okay, there's some problem. We have a question here from Prakhar. Yes, Prakhar, please do unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, I am Prakhar from ABB, and I wanted to ask a question to the panelists. My question is, ma'am, if we are using digital media as a source of learning, it obviously harms and affects the eyes and affects the brain, and the stress on eyes is directly linked to the cortex part of the brain, which at last affects the learning ability of the child. So is there any practically potential and alternative way so that we can at least not affect the child with just this because we want to make him learn, make him recite?
I think this is a problem with the small kids more. Ayushi, would you like to answer? You have to unmute yourself, Ayushi.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. So we have been, facing this problem. So in this regard, what we are doing is, so we have synchronous and asynchronous class. So we are working like complete school hours, like from 9 o'clock to 3:30, which was our school timing earlier. So what we are doing is if we have a 35 minutes of synchronous class. So synchronous class is where the students are learning from the teacher online. And then we have a 35 minutes of asynchronous class. Means we are giving them some tasks and they have to do it offline. So when they are taking a break after a particular amount of time, then so Prakhar, I think they are getting some amount of rest. They are not sitting in front of the laptop or any gadget for a very long stretch. So if you are sitting for a very long stretch, that affects your eyes a lot. But if you are taking break in between, then it's better. It's better. But Prakhar, we can't avoid this situation because learning has to go on. We can't stop the learning process. So what I can suggest you is you can take a break after, if you have spent a very long time near the gadget. Just take a break, go out, look at the nature, go away from the gadget. Don't even use your mobile.
Very true. Actually, the eye specialists have advised a 20-20 rule, in which they say for 20 minutes, if you're in front of your gadget, 20 seconds you at least 20 seconds you take off, and you should be 20 feet away, for 20 seconds. So those kind of, and your gadget should always be one arm away. एक हाथ की दूरी पर ही गैजेट्स को रखो, जिससे आपके आईज पर काफी रिलीफ मिलेगा. एंड डू पुट इन जो ये टीयर ड्रॉप्स आती हैं जिससे टीयर्स निकलते हैं आंखों से एट नाइट, तो दोज आल्सो हेल्प यू अ लॉट. सो दैट हैज बीन एडवाइज्ड. I read it in the papers
also. I think you've got glasses also that has become very popular of late because of people who don't have eyesight issues. They could be using glasses to avoid direct glare, and I think even for the senior kids, because I find them that they are at a big disadvantage. One, because they have morning classes about 4 or 5 hours. Of course, it has got a break. Like at our school, we have a 10-minute break after every period. One, it caters to the connectivity issue because you log out of one and then get into another one, so it takes care of the connectivity. Two, it gives you breaks. So whether their bio breaks are to be taken into concern, or they can shut down their eyes and do some eye exercise after every 35 minutes. But evenings also, these children apparently have classes. They have coaching classes, they have their tuition classes, and they have their their core scholastic. Like many of them are into hobbies, so even those classes are conducted online. So there's a good amount of time that they spend in front of the gadgets or devices. So and apart from that, if on top of that, if they start using their mobiles and they're all social media friendly, you can imagine the net amount of time that they spend. Almost 12 hours of their waking, 18 hours will be spent in front of the, I think, some screen. So the screen time has to be brought down if only they decide about it. And I think sometimes it's not practical to cut down the timing. So then what you can do is you can keep doing your exercises. There are lots of eye exercises. Eye drops to hai nahi, but using glasses and avoiding, as far as possible, avoid using even for your social
Very true.
activities, set time. So I think that is
Very true, ma'am.
What is mandatory is mandatory. You can't, the life cannot stop. World cannot stop.
Right. Very true, ma'am.
Screen time has increased. Then what you can do is you can decrease your social media time.
Right. Very true. But I don't think the kids would agree with that. Now moving ahead, let's have some questions for the students panel. I would like the students panel to switch on their videos. I have a question for them. They have been putting up questions on us. So let's now put up some questions on them also. Okay. Yeah, my question is for the students panel. What do you think is the future of the online course in India? After the pandemic also, would any of the students continue with this online education? What do you feel? Shreya, you'll answer, or Ayushi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, according to me, each child is different, right? Online teaching, apart from all the negative sides, we cannot deny that it has provided us time to understand things. I'm the kind of person who doesn't understand maths in just one go. I have to watch videos again and again to just get a single concept. So this online teaching has actually helped people like me to go at a steady pace, slowly and steadily, and understand things better. But of course, traditional teaching is I miss that
Yes,
personal touch
Aditi,
too.
you would like to add on to it?
Yes, ma'am. I feel it is a blend of both. Like we do need the traditional studies, like our actual Gurukul system, which was the traditional method, is what we require. But at this time, since we don't have any other choice, we're lacking out on education. So we have to study through online. As Shreya said, we do have to watch maths and accounts videos again and again because those are practical subjects. So we lose touch on them if we are not physically in touch with the teacher. So understanding the concept is a bit difficult through online, but still we are coping up with it. But personally, I feel that physical interaction with the teachers would be a great opportunity once everything is over. I just hope we are able to overcome this pandemic soon.
Yeah, Ayushi, would you take up any online course later on after your class 12th?
Definitely, ma'am. What I feel that our generation and our students, we are very adaptive and flexible by nature. So we easily adapt to the situation that goes on. So according to the situation right now, we are very much adapted to the online classes. And once the pandemic gets over, I'm sure that we will again be able to reshift to our Gurukul system and the physical training. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that we will just turn a blind eye to the online education system, because in this long period or the whatever time frame that we have really got accustomed to this situation, and at the same time we have learned how to make the most out of it. So we know the what are the perks and the advantages of learning online. So I'm sure that we will make sure that whatever the situation comes and whichever way we are learning, we will try to take as much benefits that we can from both these sides, be it
Yeah,
physical or online. I would definitely love to take an online
yeah,
course.
what Ayushi said is very true. If you students have any of the time with you, you can take up these online courses. There are lots of certificate courses which Harvard University and MIT are offering from the US. So, if you are interested with any particular topic and you want to do a certificate course, अभी तो time है इतना वो नहीं है, अभी तो काफी time हो गया through the pandemic. But that is this thing through which you can even pass your time, and you don't feel bored about it. So online courses would be good enough. I agree with this. Let us move ahead. Yeah, students, you have any of, sorry?
Ask a question.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Anyone, in fact, my question is directed to each one of the panelists.
Okay.
To be very honest about it. So I'll begin with the names. I would like you to confess one prank that you've played, ever since online classes happened. Be honest, it's okay. Nobody's going to penalize you today. So can I begin with on the right on the top? I can see who's this?
Sia.
I have I think
Sia.
Shreya. So
Sia. Yeah, Sia.
Let's begin with you.
Yeah, Sia.
One prank that you played or something that you feel that you shouldn't have, but you enjoyed it at the expense of the other person on the other side.
I'll be very honest, I have not done any pranks, but I know a lot of my friends who have done, and personally sometimes I liked it, but during online classes you need a constant concentration to what the ma'am is teaching, because if you get distracted, then there's no coming back to what the ma'am was teaching. So there are a lot of students in my class who just enter with some other name and start playing some weird songs. I sometimes like it if it's some boring class going on and it comes, it really freshens up. But I don't think that during this thing, online studies, you should do something like that, because the teacher also gets distracted very easily. So yeah, I have not done, but my friends have definitely done. So yeah.
Yes, Vansh, regarding this. Yes, Vansh.
Yes, ma'am. Like we haven't played that kind of pranks yet, but like to be honest, sometimes in the initial stages where the classes were like newly started, we used to enter with the name that is there in the attendance, and then mid class we used to change the name. Like yeah, we shouldn't be doing that, but like yeah, we pulled off that once or twice, I guess.
Okay. Yes, Parv, what have you done?
Yes, ma'am. I would be totally honest. It was just once when I did a prank. It was 2 to 3 months back. I gave an ID to my tuition friend actually.
Okay.
He entered the room with the name Binod, which was actually very viral during that time. Yeah, that was. But then eventually I did realize that it had a big trouble during the class.
Right,
It went
right.
on, let me be very honest, it went on to get discussed in a teachers panel also, because teachers started panicking, who's this Vinod? And then I realized it's an internet, it's a trending name. So, but
Right,
I do know that this happened, yeah. And
right.
yes, the other,
Do any of the students have any questions for their friends? Yes, Krish, you have any particular question? Anushka, for any friends here? You have any questions for your friends, Nimit?
Prachi,
Student
ma'am, I have
panel.
a question for you, if I
Yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, I would like to ask you, how are you dealing with the, queries of the students? Like, for example, I remember when we were studying from you, if we had any doubt, you told us to come back or stay extra after the class hours, and you used to solve our doubts. So how are you dealing with that now?
Yeah, I see it is difficult, but yeah, what I'm doing is I do call them up. Plus, I have my team. They also help them. I send the pic of the solution to them. And अब मैंने एक नया शुरू किया है वो वॉइस कॉल. वॉइस में मैं बोलकर भेज देती हूँ कि ये इसमें ये गलती है, इसमें ये गलती है. तो दैट वॉइस कॉल इज क्वाइट बेनिफिशियल. क्या बोलते हो आप लोग, माइक पर जो कॉल मतलब हम भेज देते हैं, तो दैट इज क्वाइट गुड इनफ. दैट हैज बीन हेल्पिंग. एंड यस, आई हैव टोल्ड माय स्टूडेंट्स कि आप मुझे कभी भी कॉल कर सकते हो, बट बहुत कम लोग कॉल करते हैं. आई वुड टेल देम कि प्लीज डू कॉल मी फॉर योर डाउट्स.
Parv has a question to ask. Parv Parekh.
Yes, ma'am, if everyone doesn't mind, I have a question to the entire teachers panel. Purnima ma'am, Prachi ma'am, and Ayushi ma'am. It is very rightly said that teachers are second mothers. I totally agree with that, and I respect the statement. Ma'am, all the mothers do prefer that their students have a holistic development, that is a comprehensive growth in all dimensions. But this online educational system doesn't makes it more feasible. So how do you? So I mean, what are the alternatives you take to reconcile yourself or to make sure that the growth hasn't been restrained of the students?
okay, can I take the question first?
Yeah.
First, according to me, it's entirely up to an individual. Like as a teacher, I can certainly recommend after your classes. I do tell them that at home, if you can't step out, right, because the virus is at its peak right now. The spread is at its peak. So at least at home, you could be doing some workouts. If you remember, before the break, also before the summer break, I did talk to all of you, and I did mention that you need to have. Do some amount of workout. Otherwise, you sit at home and you gain a lot of pounds. That is, you can't be obviously involved in all sorts of post-scholastic hobbies or tasks. But yes, you can at least take care of your health during this time. And of course, as I said earlier, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of those tasks, like there are art classes that are happening online, there are music classes that are happening online. So if you really want to pursue it something very passionately, this was happening even before. I think Prachi just while her profile was getting read, Prachi said, Prachi, did you go physically to Harvard to finish that course? I think that was a certificate course, and you managed to do that, right? Despite such a hectic schedule, she's managed to get a certificate from Harvard because she's chalked out time for that. So I think everything is possible if you really have the willingness for it.
Very true. Very true. We have a question here from Diya. Yeah, Diya Shukla, your question.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Diya Shukla from Anand Vidya Vihar, and my question is to the teachers. The question is, in this technological life, youngsters are expected to be more technological sound, and we ourselves have experienced and witnessed adults facing issues. So how have the teachers been able to adapt to this tech-savvy transition?
I think I should be answering that question.
All of us have faced that problem. At least I and Purnima ma'am though majorly have faced with that problem, because being from a different generation, we have faced that problem.
And I
And
handle teachers from generations apart too. Like I had teachers who were all fingers and thumbs with technology, gadgets. I remember because all of us are at and this was during I think the April month where we couldn't even step out of our houses, and all of us had to learn how to use the Google Classroom.
Right.
And every day, everyone would discover one new facet of Google Classroom and put the module onto our WhatsApp group, and we would all be, studying hard, learning how to use it. And then you make mistakes, and then you keep posing questions. It was sheer chaos, but there was a lot of learning that happened. Some people who were absolutely challenged have really mastered, I think, skills that was practically unheard of. So I believe there are positives to this entire situation, because most people who thought they could not have managed now know you can manage even like this.
Yeah, if you have read today's paper, people who are of the age of 50 and 60 also have learned, how to use the gadgets. They are making the videos. Some of the students, some of the teachers who were not camera friendly and, scared about making a video on the camera have now become so camera friendly that they are making videos and posting it for students. The teachers had to learn it. We had no alternatives. Bothering my son, bothering others, we have managed to learn it. But that's the way it is.
I just want to add, since it's a fun session, exactly before joining this, I had this, I am part of this WhatsApp group where my mom is actually a member, but she doesn't, she's not very technology friendly. So there's this kitty and her kitty group, and they were mentioning that since we are not able to physically meet and we still have a few more rounds left, why don't we have a Zoom meet? And why don't we get the payments made through Google Pay? Now it was so heartening to hear all aunties of mine discussing having Zoom chats and paying through Google Pay or whatever. So I think it has really revolutionized. I think even
Very true.
Older
Very
generation,
true.
and my dad also is now a Google Meet freak. As in he
Yeah.
told,
Yeah, we taught our mom also, Paytm कैसे करना है, Google Pay कैसे करना है. अभी भी जाके उनके पास बैठो तो वो लोग सबसे पहले यही लेके आ जाते हैं. बेटा ये कैसे करना है, बेटा ये कैसे करना है. आप लोग के भी दादा दादी पेरेंट्स सबसे पहले आपको यही पकड़ते होंगे कि भाई हमें ये सिखा दो, और आप लोग भागते होगे वहां से कि भाई अभी तो पकड़ लिया इन लोगों ने तो हम लोग गए, आधा घंटा तो निकल ही जाएगा.
But you know what, we as a teacher, we can say when this pandemic ends, we are going to be a super teachers now, because now by that time we would have mastered the technology, because every day we are learning something new. Every day the school is telling us sometimes you have to use Zoom or sometimes Google Classroom, and Google Classroom was not so handy like Zoom. Like it did not have so many features like Zoom. So we have learned about so many extensions to be added. So yeah, it's actually a good learning process for the teachers also.
Yeah, Kashish, Stuti, you have a question, Kashish, for Shreya? Stuti, any questions? Yeah, Rajeshwari ma'am has a question.
Yeah, am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, and a very happy Teachers' Day to the enlightened fraternity here today. Congratulations to all of you all for having become tech savvy. What I would like to add here is this pandemic has actually taught us all to look within, most of us, and somewhere or the other, seeing the good point in this is that we have all begun to get more associated. We have more of Google Duo, Zoom, and GQL calls, wherein we associate with our families more regularly. Our children participate in more online quizzes, more online competitions. So that has given a lot of scope for their improvement. Like Purnima ma'am just said, it's very much dependent on the individual as to how well they can make use of the situation. And we are in crisis times, and to make the best of it in such a situation is the best. Like they say, Vigyan ek abhishap ya vardhan. So I guess हमें इसको एक वरदान जैसे यूज करना चाहिए, और बहुत ही इसका जितना ज्यादा फायदा यूज हो उतना अच्छा. Can I address my question to Purnima ma'am, please?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, considering and assuming that this entire academic year will be taught on a virtual medium, do you have any idea as to how the exams are going to be conducted for these students who are taking their boards? And if they are going to be conducted online, how are they going to be assessed and graded?
Well, to be very honest, the CBSE is also absolutely clueless on this topic, because I have been attending almost all sessions that's conducted by the chairperson or the deputy director and so on. What I understand is they're waiting and watching. They haven't, the latest manual which just came 2 days back, they've mentioned that they're prepared. They haven't released the circulars related to practicals, because in 12th and 10th of course doesn't have practicals, but 12th has practicals too. And imagine doing chemistry and physics all online. That's just not easy. Though they have advocated usage of, the DigiLab, but they're not very clear on getting that conducted online. They have kept it on hold. They probably believe somewhere that schools might reopen, which is why, as per the Unlock 4 guidelines, they have said that you can start calling children depending on whether you are living in a containment zone or not, and start calling 50% of the crowd to the school. Especially 9th and 11th, 12th, because those are the classes where they need intense training when it comes to subjective skills. Because the juniors can be assessed using objective questions, but the senior children need to be trained. So the board doesn't really have any mind as of now to change their format. However, what we gauge is they are prepared for a blended format also. So if the situation prevails, they might go for a 50-50 format is what we presume. That's what our group of principals keep discussing time and again. So it's possible that they might go for a 50% format where you have MCQs, and a 50% format where they go for something like a subjective test where they call people in in different shifts and things. But as of now, they are not very clear. What schools are doing is entirely up to them. Like I was discussing with my kids the other day. I said, you will give your tests and you will keep your cameras on. We have duties assigned to teachers, hour-wise duties. All we need to do is give them links and they join in and they take over the duty. And once you have kept your camera on for 3 hours and you finish your test, then you can upload that onto the, take a PDF copy, upload that onto the Google Suite. We have a G Suite account. Upload that into the classroom. And after the exams get over, let's say after 5 days of main exams getting over, one fine day your parents, not you, but parents can come and deliver those the answer sheets to the
Right.
day. And then the teachers can they get to check the copies physically, because checking them online is an arduous task. So that is the max I can tell you.
Very
As
true.
of now, all of us are clueless. But
As
that's
of now, that's the method that, ma'am has in mind.
Thank you, ma'am.
Because till now, we are not sure, what's going to happen. The government has to decide. So maybe by December, January, the government will reach to a conclusion, and I think it would be on. I think now we are past our time. So I would like to end the session. Before ending, does anybody have any questions? Before we end the session, does anybody have any questions? Yeah, students, how was it? Do you have any questions? Please do
I guess
ask.
Sakshi has a question to ask.
Yeah, Sakshi.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, as it is rightly said that education today is the economy tomorrow, and I would like to ask you, our dignitaries, what are the changes which you would like to introduce in the education system? Because teachers are the one who have the great responsibility to, prepare children, educate them. So, do you like to change something in the education system?
It's a very wide question, Sakshi. I would like to make major changes. I have a list of changes which I would like to make in the education system. So it's a vast question. The textbook should be revised. The pattern should be revised. The textbooks that we are following, at least in maths in 11th and 12th, have been there for the last 10 years. So, all these things I guess should be taken care. There are lots. I think Ayushi must also be having lots of suggestions in the IB that they are following, which the CBSE is not following.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we are dealing with IB. We don't have textbook system in IB. It is more. It is more about. It is more of so we don't deal with topic. We deal with concepts. So IB curriculum is totally different from the CBSE and the other boards. Like I can't discuss it right now because it's very wide. It will take an hour or two.
Right, it's very wide. That's what.
Very wide. But the positive thing about IB is it's not content oriented, it's concept oriented, and that's the reason I'm with IB since 4 years now.
Right, right. Very true.
Something, Shashi, I am quite aware of the IB system because I'm a trained, a primary years program. This thing I undergone that training, and we used to take for the junior grades right from 1 to 6. So I know what IB basically entails of, and the new document from NEP, there is a lot of focus on inquiry-based learning.
Right.
Which is the center.
Right.
It's the pivot of I think IB. Program of inquiry is what you call a POI concept, right? You have 6 POIs, I believe, or maybe more. When we used to do it, I think we did that in 2004. So that's basically the pivotal factor of IB system of education, and CBSE is gradually veering to that. Like they are bringing that concept in, and very soon, Prachi, our textbooks will be less of content and more of like we will not be forced to tell children ki exercise 6.5 में 13 to 22 जो sum थे अपने AOD के वो सारे वैसे के वैसे आएंगे तो उसे रख लो. I mean, I dislike telling that to kids year after year.
Very true. I totally agree with you, Purnima.
So,
that is there, and there are. Right. So that is there. I think now we would end this session. After your half yearlies, we'll be back with another talk show. So I hope all of you enjoyed the session. And let's click one quick, once again, Nikita, the students panel and the teachers panel together. Yeah, and one more thing, Hitisha is around. Hitisha is our, who take cares of our social media marketing. Yeah, Hitisha, you would like to say something? Yeah,
I would like to thank each and everyone present here for taking out time and making it a successful one. We got a very good audience, and our participants were the best part, and they were in good numbers. So it is another successful webinar for us, and I hope for the next webinar you all will be present, and it will be happening soon. Maybe next week or next to next week. We'll keep updating our social media pages, and if you guys have any feedback regarding our regarding these webinars, please let us know, and we'll try to improve ourselves. And if you have any new topic which you think that will interest students as well as teachers, do let us know, so that we know so that we know what you guys want from us, and we'll try to make that happen.
Very true. That's what is there. We really want to know the topics that it would interest you all. So please do text us in. Please do like our Facebook page. Please do post your photos on it, and tell your friends also to like our page. And
if you have different names on Instagram, like if you have say, for example, Ayushi with AAA, do let us know, because it becomes very hard to find you guys and tag you.
Yeah, please do like us, all of you. So at least, and do stay touched. And please do let us which other topic you would like. You would like a talk show or a webinar. Please do text me, and please do let me know about it. And thank you to Team Maths Academy. The backhand has also put in a lot of hard work. Harsh and Dhriti, thank you for being there. And the foremost, thank you Purnima ma'am, Ayushi ma'am. It was a great success, and thank you all for being here. The students panel.
Thank you so much, Prachi ma'am, for having us here.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Chalo, we'll take a move. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, Parv.